There are a number of considerations suggesting that the crescendo of the last days is near, including the growing prominence and influence of world organizations, the increase in incidents and reporting of rapture and tribulation dreams, the increase in knowledge, the increase in travel, the existence of the nation of Israel and its control over Jerusalem, Israel's adoption in 2018 of the nation-state law, which makes Israel the nation-state of the Jewish people, all of these incidents collectively enabling the fulfillment of the prophecy given by Gabriel to Daniel as recorded in Daniel 9:24-27. And, of course, the increase in incidents and reporting of earthquakes, and famines, and wars, and rumors of wars. And perhaps more interestingly, there are a number of indications, derivative of Scripture, that point to the years 2032 and 2025 in particular as years of significance for the world and humanity. For example, the millennial day theory highlights the year 2032 as being 2 God days after the ascension of Jesus Christ to heaven in 32 AD. The year 2032 would accordingly indicate an appropriate year for his return per Hosea 6:2. In addition, the next blood moon tetrad that coincides with at least 2 of the Jewish festivals, including the Feast of Tabernacles and Passover, starts in the year 2032. Interestingly, too, we know that the Israelites crossed the Jordan River into the Promised Land in 1406 BC. This action started a clock that was established by God for the counting of Jubilees. 3,430 years, or exactly 70 Jubilees, after that date would be announced via a trumpet on Rosh Hashanah on October 1, 2025. In addition, take into consideration Jacob's troubles. If Jacob's most significant troubles began at age 77, when he started working for his father-in-law Laban, and if he didn't realize the benefit of the promise of receiving Rachel until 7 years later, then the nation of Israel in parallel would experience its troubles of the tribulation period beginning at age 77, which curiously would be 2025, and it would not receive the benefit of its promised Messiah until 7 years later, which would be 2032. In addition, if the asteroid Apophis is the great mountain of fire or wormwood as described in Revelation 8, verses 8-11, and if it were actually to strike the earth in the middle of the 7-year period of tribulation, then the scheduled passing near the earth on April 23, 2029 would approximately mark the halfway point of the tribulation, suggesting the start of the tribulation in the fall of 2025. Further, the Essenes calendar indicates that in a 500-year Ona period, number 12, the 9th Jubilee ends in the year 2025, and the first Shemitah of the immediately following 10th Jubilee ends in the year 2032. That year 2032 on the Essenes calendar marks the first Shemitah of the final Jubilee of the period of the Age of Grace. And finally, we note that we are looking at the last time that Donald J. Trump will run for the office of President of the United States. So it is fairly described as the last Trump run for office. And of course, if he's elected, it would be the last Trump presidency with an inauguration in 2025. Does the phrase last Trump sound familiar? 1 Corinthians 15:52 indicates that in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, we shall be changed. Perhaps it's just a curious coincidence that the most famous King James Version of the Bible used that phraseology in 1611, over 400 years before this time. Or perhaps God influenced the writers at that time to give us a hint in our time regarding when the rapture might occur. See much more detail and additional points at prophecyresources.com.